Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is the Lorraine 155 mle.50. It's the tier 7 French SPG. So this one's located on the north spawn of Prokhorovka and it's under the command of Moose. And he's got 2 marks of excellence on the barrels. Or barrel, not barrels. Okay, game on. Now this rather colourful Arty never actually got built, but it was actually designed on the hull of a Lorraine 40-ton tank. I think you can see the similarities, the rubber road wheels, the design, the rear of the vehicle. It does look like the rear of a 40T. Okay, he's looking down range. In fact, that's the crossing at the other end of the map where the enemy tanks are moving over, and I can hear the rock logs being damaged, so it sounds like an enemy tanks were moving over that spot. And it's actually quite a good idea sometimes just to fire a round in on that spot right at the start of the game, because it frightens the bejesus out of the enemy when a round lands on them virtually as they're trying to cross over to the hill. Okay, we've got a T-54 lightweight, rounds out straight away, but it's going to be a bit late. He didn't give enough lead. Now notice how Moose pulled back a bit and then he moved forward to try and confuse the enemy to his actual position. It would have been better actually to move straight forward, because this vehicle actually moves forward faster than it does in reverse, and so you will cover more distance from your firing position by just pressing the W key and moving ahead. He's lining up a shot on that T-54, give enough lead and rounds out. This looks better. It is 293. He gave enough lead this time and the shell struck the target. Up on top of the hill we've got a Peter. Just turned up, trying to use the bushes. Klaus Kellerman actually said to use the bushes on the right hand side of the hill, not the other side, because those are the ones which have actually got better cover than the ones which are where most people normally go. He's aiming for the Conqueror, rounds out. Lands right next door to him, and this time round Moose does move directly forward quickly, and you can see he's in a new spot, so even if somebody were to try and get a battery, they'd miss. And somebody else hit that Conqueror as well, because, and I think that was the GW Tiger P on his team, because we saw a shell go in, but there was no explosion. Going for that T-54 again, he fires in on the right position, but it was a splash. 164. He's changed orientation. He's now going up to the hill for that P43 Tur, who's got fairly close to the edge. Now that's the one with the 90mm gun. And let's see if he goes too far over the edge. Whoa! Yes, he does. I thought so. It looked like he was backing up, but he just didn't think about where he was. Rounds out in the eyes to shield it. Lands next to him for 167. So that P43 Tur is at this moment trying to climb back up the hill because he fell off. Let's hope it was a Humpty Dumpty moment and he smashed himself to pieces. He probably didn't actually, he just slid down the hill. Going for the P43 Tur, P44 Pantera rather. Direct hit? No, unfortunately there was an explosion, so unfortunately on that occasion we didn't get a hit, but we did get a near miss, I think. Okay, we've got a Striv 103. Moose has marked it as his target. He's in the siege mode, which means he's very slow to move. Moose is about to shoot. Almost ready. Rounds out straight away, he's loaded. Lands next to him and stuns him, but it doesn't do any damage. But we did have a tank nearby. It was a Wizzy 111-14, and it was actually our Striv 1030 who killed that one. And there's the enemy Arty, or at least one of them, the M12. We're not loaded yet, so Moose is changing target and going for the guys up north. There's an E75 and a T25-2 who, unfortunately, we got our T49 kill, but he hits the T25-2. He knocked a tree over there, and rather than stay in the same spot, he's actually changing position. We're only one tank up on the enemy, so it still could go either way. You can see he's now moving over to the west side of the map. I think he's got some protection over here because most of the enemy on this side, well, all the enemy on the west side of the map have been wiped out. So being over here does give him some protection. The unfortunate side effect, though, is that the time between the shell being fired and reaching the target has increased, and it's now about 3 seconds. So you have to give lead on target, and he didn't have enough lead there, and so the shell landed a little way away, and all it did was stun the IS-2 shielded. Okay, he's getting a request for fire on that guy, and he's responded with the T key. If you ever see those crosshairs like a sighting mechanism, that's because somebody has said, can you please fire at that target? He's been tracked. Rounds out. Oh, kill shot! Somebody's going to be a very happy player on Moose's team because he requested fire on that target, and that target's just been wiped out by Moose. Okay, there's the Peter, the one who fell off the cliff. He's still got all of his health, but he's not a very good player, and he's now hiding amongst those bushes to take shots at our guys as they come over the hill. In fact, there's a Scorpion G nearby. Moose is now aiming at the bottom of the hill. We've got a Lurver and a Noobs 03, and I think he's going to try and hit the Lurver, who's been hit by our teammate, the GW Tiger Pete. We're almost loaded. Rounds out the Lurver, who's just taken out and killed our Scorpion, but he got hit in return. Yep, the Scorpion tried to sneak up, and unfortunately it didn't work. There's that enemy Arty. It's the SU-14-2, the school bus. Moose is going to treat that as a priority target because he knows how much damage Arty can do. And that guy's not even moving after he shoots. And as a result, he's wiped out. 1 round, penetrating shot, right through the cabin. No difficulty whatsoever. We've got an Udes in siege mode. When he's kilted like that, it's because he's in siege. And that makes him slow and easier to hit. He's marked that as the target because it's a much slower moving target. He's loaded. Rounds out. Direct hit! 308 hit points, just like that. He's racking up the damage. He's now up to 2k. The Udas has said, no way am I sticking around. The Lurver goes up in flames, taken out by a Super Hellcat. And that means now the enemy's down to just 3 players. Udas went down the bottom of the hill, but realised he couldn't cross because if he did, he would have been shot. And there's the P-43 who's come right up to the midline. There's a Super Hellcat just across the way. We fire at the P-43 and splash him, make him a one-shot for the Hellcat. Stunned him, so he's slow moving, and the kill shot actually goes to the 103-0. Which means there's only one enemy remaining, and that's the SU-101, and we haven't seen him. And people are indicating he might be over the other side of the map. He might be on the west side because the Super Hellcat's now gone through the bushes and they can't see him. So yes, he may have dashed back into the other side. They found him. I think it was the Striv who found him, and he's been stunned and tracked. Rounds out. Lands near him for 44 and he's killed the moment next. So he picked up the stun assist off that one for 174, and that's the end of the game. So 2 kills for Moose. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats and see how well he did overall. Well, it's another ace tanker for Moose in the Lorraine 155 mle.50. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one he got 13, and this time round he did get another medal. He got a Confederate. He hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. You can see he was having a lot of fun spreading those shells out around the battlefield, and of course those 2 kills, they were well justified kills. The IS-2 shielded, he actually got a request to fire upon that target, and he did, and he killed it. And the other one of course was the enemy Arty, who did get penetrated. Yes, you can see it's a penetrating shot there, and the shell went right through the cabin and blew that thing completely back to the garage. So let's have a look at the team scores and see how well Moose did. He didn't get the highest damage in the game. No, our very active Striv 103-0 managed to get 5,264 hit points of damage, picked up a high caliber and a top gun. The next high scorer in the game was the Yag Panther with 2,718, but he didn't survive the battle. And the next high scorer after that was Moose with 2,395. first closely followed by the Strip 1030 on the enemy team with 2341. When it came to kills, it was the Striv again with 6 kills, the top gun, and Moose managed to get 2 kills alongside the SU-101 on the enemy team and their UDES-03. When it came to base XP, it was Moose at the top with 1,296, not just because he did a lot of damage, because he did a lot of damage assist as well, the stun assist. 1,126 base to the Strip 1030 and 843 went to the Jagdpanther. He fired 17 shots, got 5 direct hits, 1 penetration, that was the SU-14-2, 16 splash, damage of 2,395 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 11 of the enemy, so there was only 4 enemy tanks he didn't touch during the entire game, and killed 2 of them, and did 2,236 hit points of stun assist off 15 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 40,166 credits from that game, got 30,125 from personal reserves, so his total came to 90,374, and after resupply of ammunition, took away 73,374 credits. He received 1,296 XP, got ×2 for the first victory, 1,944 from personal reserves, and took away 5,832 experience points altogether. So a very successful game there in the Lorraine 155 mle.50, the Tier 7 French SPG. And we're going to be continuing our Moose special. He's got another one lined up, so do stick around to our channel and it will be up shortly. Thanks for watching.